Okay, y'all, here we go. Uh, I don't think it's good to gloat at the death of anyone, um, especially not if they're not, if you get the impression that they're generally not evil. It's different, I guess, if it's somebody who has tons of blood on their hands and is just an evil sociopath. Uh, but even then, I don't know if gloating at their death is the best move for you, spiritually speaking. All right. So all of this is preamble to say I am saddened by Matthew Perry's death. I'm not. I do not gloat over his death. Um, I never really had much of an opinion about the guy. Even though he's close to my age, a little bit older. Um, but I never watched Friends in the 90s. I know it was a big staple. I know that a lot of people were really into it and think that it was really great. Maybe it is, and I just didn't. I just never, I've just never been one to witness its greatness. I just never felt that inclined to watch it. So that's the main thing he was in, and I know he's a Hollywood actor, and I know he's like had his ups and downs apparently, and struggled with sobriety and so forth and so on. I don't hold any of that against anyone. I get it. I get it. Life is hard. So I want to. That's just my preamble to all of this. So if you don't know, let me inform you the sad news of Matthew Perry's death. He died yesterday. The reports that I've read was that he was in his jacuzzi and he suffered cardiac arrest and perished. He was 54. Okay, 54 years old. A little bit young to be dying of cardiac arrest. So here's when we come to the subject of this tweet. He writes, "Could I be any more vaccinated? Get your shot and then get your shirt. Shop the entire collection." So he had some apparel that he was hawking where it was like, could I be any more whatever? That was sort of his shtick. Could I be any more this? Could I be any more that? And one of them was, could I be any more vaccinated? And this is from May 24th, 2021. He's pushing the Baj. He's pushing it hard. He's saying, get your shot and then get your shirt. And look at the first post underneath this, posted on November 20th, 2022. I'm not saying it's the first. I don't know why it appears first. Maybe it's because it's gotten the most attention. I don't know how these things work on Twitter and don't really care that much. But anyway, this is from November 20th, 2022. This person says, "I'm sorry to hear about your sudden death soon. Sad face." I mean, that kind of makes the hairs on my neck stand a little. Anyhow, so he was pushing the Baj, but it gets a little worse than that. Let's look at this earlier post of his. This is from December of 2020. He tweets here, "What is this? A limited edition T-shirt for charity? For 2 weeks only, I am releasing an apparel collection." I guess it was not just for 2 weeks, because he continued release, continue to be in release. But anyway, proceeds will support the World Health Organization's COVID-19 relief efforts. I don't like to say that word, so I avoid it. I get the feeling that even if you say that word, you're somehow agreeing to this reality that they want you to live in that isn't real. It's a personal thing for me. I also don't call it a pandemic. I call it a so-called pandemic or a scamdemic. Anyhow, banana not included. Available at blah blah blah. Okay. So not only is he pushing the Baj, but he's collecting money for an evil organization and their quote unquote relief efforts. What are those? Anything that the WHO does, I'm not comfortable with my money going to them for anything. I don't trust them at all with a penny of my funds. And you could say, in this case, well, fine, don't buy a shirt then. Okay. And I didn't. In fact, I didn't even know about these shirts. But I'm just saying, the fact that this guy, this actor, is pushing this line of t-shirts, and particularly this one, the fact that he's pushing it and that the money is going where it's going, and that he's participating in this push, he's applying pressure on people out there to do the quote-unquote responsible thing, what they say is the responsible thing. Get your shot, then get your shirt, right? And that's the carrot, although you don't get the shirt for free. You still have to buy it, and the money goes to where he talked about it going to. But anyway, here's where I'm not gloating, but I can't just let this go. Matthew Perry, what do you know? What do you know about this kind of thing, this kind of stuff? What do you know about whether the people pushing the Baj are right or wrong? What do you know? I mean, you know about as much as I do. I'm not a scientist. I am not a doctor, but I don't respond well to coercion, and I believe we should all have the freedom to choose whether we want to go with this Baj thing or not. I've never been so much anti-Baj as I've been anti-mandate. So at this point, if it was just that he got it, that would be one thing, because lots of people got it. If you just got it because you wanted to move on with your life, because you thought this was a way of getting back to normal or whatever, I think that's sad. I think that's unfortunate, but I don't hold that against anyone. But this goes further than that. He's an influential person. He's an actor. He's somebody who's beloved by millions, and he's out there pushing the psyop. Now, he didn't push it as obnoxiously as a lot of his compatriots in Hollywood, and in the establishment, generally speaking. He didn't, that I know of. I mean, I don't know. I haven't trawled for his quotes on these kinds of subjects. Maybe if I do, I'll find that he's worse than this. That he was heaping scorn on those who weren't getting it, like so many others were doing. um, at the time. But the fact that he was pushing it, so, with this shirt, that he was trying to signal in the right way, the quote unquote right way, to be in accord, to be in conformity, to be in compliance. It's like that's where I've got to hold him responsible. Like, you are, people look up to you, rightly or wrongly. It's you can't just willy-nilly decide, or you can't just be pressured into deciding that they all should do this, that people should get this shot. If you want to get it, that's up to you. But for you to use your bully pulpit, or I'm not calling him a bully, but to use your influence to try to get others to do it. And I'm sure plenty of people saw this and said, oh, what's his name from Friends? I don't know what his character's name was. I don't remember right now. That cute guy on Friends is getting it. Well, I'm definitely getting it now. Clearly, this is where the cool people, this is the cool thing to do. I mean, I'm afraid that you've got some responsibility for that. Now, I don't know, Matt. I'm talking to Matthew Perry here. I don't know. I don't know to what extent you just capitulated, because I don't know. You're not that. I don't know. You just don't have a healthy sense of skepticism about things, and you've been habituated to conforming. I mean, I know there are extenuating circumstances for all of us, and I never pushed the barrage, but I know that I've done things that I'm not proud of. So I do want to be merciful when it comes to others most of the time, unless they're really obviously evil. Then my interest in mercy wanes significantly. But in his case, he's got some responsibility for helping to push this thing that was, I think we're seeing more and more, was not a good thing to push. And not only that, but he was collecting money for these people through the selling of his merch. This charity. See my quote, my scare quotes, charity. So as far as the question of whether the reason for his death was the Baj or not, I'm not gonna say. The problem is that we can't. We're not allowed to know. I think that's still the case. I mean, I know that was the case a couple of years ago, and even now, I think they don't do autopsies where they find out about these kinds of things. I remember when brave baseball great Hank Aaron got it and then died like a week later, and people were saying, but of course the media was all saturated with, no, he didn't die for that reason, you stupid idiots. And they're still trying to do that. They're still engaged in that kind of rhetoric. You type in Matthew Perry, VACCINE, and the first things that you see are just a bunch of articles from the Lugan Press types saying, "Oh, these anti-vaxxers, they're so terrible. They're so awful. I hate them so much, and you should hate them too." Um, are they so bad though? Just for raising that, possibility, or for acknowledging that a 54-year-old man doesn't typically die of cardiac arrest in the hot tub. Um, I know he struggled with sobriety. I don't know whether his health was could have been compromised for other reasons. That's why I'm saying I'm not saying for sure. The thing is that we can't just be agnostic. We have to be absolutely categorically, no way was it because of the shot. No way. Well, yes way. uh, yes, it is a possibility. Yes, uh, it did happen and has happened to a lot of people. Okay? So don't give me that crap, Lucan Press. Anyway, Matthew Perry's family and friends, ha ha ha. No pun intended there. All the best, thoughts and prayers and so forth. Prayers for his eternal soul and all of that. But this has to be talked about. This has to be remarked upon, and it's not gloating just to remark upon it, and it shouldn't be perceived as such. Thanks for watching.